Welcome to Review Central. This is LET Professional Education Reviewer number 3. This reviewer is intended for those who are eyeing, or are set to take the Licensure Exam for Teachers or LET. There are 10 questions featured on this reviewer. All questions are modeled on actual questions that appeared on previous LET exams. Shall we begin? Question number 1. Ms. Vargas is an excellent physical education teacher. She started teaching volleyball to the grade 2 class. Despite all her efforts, her class does not seem to learn how to play the game. What law of learning was disregarded? A. Law of disuse. B. Law of effect. C. Law of exercise. D. Law of readiness. The correct answer is D. Law of readiness. With law of disuse, connections are weakened when practice is discontinued. Law of effect states that connections are strengthened when it has a satisfying effect. Law of exercise is in effect if connections are strengthened or weakened depending on the number of times it occurs and in proportion to the average vigor and duration of the connection. Law of readiness, the correct answer to the question, states that students will learn when they are ready to do so. Teaching grade 2 students how to play volleyball will simply not work because they are too young and are not yet ready for the physical and mental demands of the sport. Question number 2. Bianca is always fearful of freely roaming dogs but does not mind dogs in a pen or on a leash. What feature of classical conditioning is exhibited? A. Discrimination. B. Extinction. C. Generalization. D. Practice. The correct answer is A. Discrimination. Discrimination is the feature of classical conditioning that is exhibited when there are different responses to similar stimuli. Therefore, this is the correct answer. Extinction is when the conditioned response is lost. Generalization is responding the same way to a similar stimuli. This is the opposite of discrimination. Practice is not a feature of classical conditioning. Question number 3. To ensure that the lesson will go on smoothly, Mrs. Lim listed down the steps she will undertake together with those of her students. This practice relates to A. Teaching style. B. Teaching method. C. Teaching strategy. D. Teaching technique. The correct answer is B. Teaching method. Teaching method consists of steps which are logically arranged and intended to achieve the specific aims of instruction. Question number 4. The class of grade 6 daffodils is scheduled to perform an experiment. However, the chemicals are insufficient. What method may then be used? A. Project. B. Laboratory. C. Lecture. D. Demonstration. The correct answer is D, because the insufficiency of chemicals to use dictates that the teacher performs the experiment while the rest of the class observes. Question number 5. Teacher Anna would like to take part in developing a subject-centered curriculum because she believes that all subjects in this type of curriculum are geared towards the holistic development of the learner. Is her belief about the subject-centered curriculum true? A. Yes, because the subject-centered curriculum focuses on the learner's needs, interests, and abilities. B. No, because it is experience-centered curriculum that emphasizes the teaching of facts and knowledge for future use. C. Yes, because the subject-centered curriculum involves cooperative control. D. No, because it is the experience-centered and not the subject-centered curriculum that emphasizes integration of habits and skills in learning the knowledge component of a subject area. The correct answer is D. The belief of teacher Anna about the subject-centered curriculum is not acceptable. Holistic development covers physical, socio-emotional, mental, and moral development of learners. This is possible under an experience-centered curriculum. B is incorrect. While it agrees to the premise that teacher Anna's conception about the subject-centered curriculum is not true, this option is not acceptable because it presents conflicting information. It is subject-centered curriculum, not experience-centered curriculum, which emphasizes the teaching of facts and knowledge. A and C are both incorrect. The consideration of learners' needs, interests, and abilities including practices in the classroom are some of the important traits of experience-centered curriculum. Question number 6. In the elementary level, English literature and social studies relate well. While history is being studied, different literary pieces during the historical period are being studied as well. What curriculum design is shown here? A. Separate subject design. B. Correlation design. C. Discipline design. D. Broad field design. The correct answer is B. Correlation design. Subjects are related to one another, but each individual subject maintains its identity. In the question above, English literature and social studies correlate well. The literary pieces being studied in English literature reflect the culture, social activities, and even the problems and issues in their respective historical periods. A and C are incorrect. Both separate subject design and discipline design are compartmentalized. They stress so much on cluster of topic, content, and academic disciplines. D is incorrect. Like correlation design, broad field design was made to prevent compartmentalization of subjects. However, unlike correlation design, broad field considers wider integration of subjects that are fused into one subject. Thus, the identity of each subject combined is eventually lost. Question number 7. Teacher Mary Ann views her students as unique, free-choosing and responsible individuals. All classroom activities revolve around the said premise. What theory underlies this? A. Essentialism. B. Existentialism. C. Progressivism. D. Realism. The correct answer is B. Existentialism. Existentialism focuses on the self or the individual. Option A, Essentialism, focuses on basic skills and knowledge. C, Progressivism, focuses on the whole child and the cultivation of individuality. D, Realism, emphasizes that knowledge is derived from sense of experience. Question number 8. Which statement best describes development? A. A high school student's height increased from 5 feet 2 inches to 5 feet 4 inches. B. A high school student's change in weight from 110 pounds to 125 pounds. C. A student had learned to operate the computer. D. A student's enlargement of hips. The correct answer is C. A student had learned to operate the computer. C is the correct answer, because development is the process in the life of a human being by which the individual's potentialities unfold and appear. A and B cannot be considered because these refer to growth, which is the quantitative and continuous changes from birth to maturity. D cannot be considered as correct either, because it refers to the increment of the bodily parts, which is more associated with maturity. Question number 9. Teacher Greg, a physical education teacher, demonstrates the new skill to be learned so that his students can watch him and later reproduce the skill. What learning theory is associated with the situation? A. Dual coding learning theory. B. Information processing theory. C. Schema learning theory. D. Social learning theory. The correct answer is D. Social learning theory. Social learning theory tells about how people learn through observation, imitation, and modeling. It states that learning is a cognitive process that takes place in a social context and can occur purely through observation or direct instruction, even in the absence of motor reproduction or direct reinforcement. Dual coding theory involves mental images and verbal descriptions as tools for retaining information. Information processing theory explains that an individual learns when the human mind takes in information, perform operation on it, and retrieve when needed. Schema learning theory discusses how prior knowledge helps the learner understand new information in the learning process. Question number 10. Teacher Cynthia gives the class a specific topic as assignment which they have to research and pass the following day. However, the students could not find any information about it. What method should Teacher Cynthia use to teach the assignment? A. Project method. B. Discovery approach. C. Lecture method. D. Developmental activities. The correct answer is C. Lecture method. Lecture method is effective when the lecturer has the information or materials which students do not have. You have just completed LET Professional Education Reviewer number 3. If you wish to watch more LET Professional Education Reviewers, check out our LET Professional Education Reviewers playlist. Check out also our other LET playlists for other reviewer topics. If you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to subscribe to Review Central, and click or press the bell button to make sure you get notified whenever we post a new reviewer or other review materials on this channel. Please like if you find this video useful and feel free to share to anyone who may also benefit from it. We wish you all the best on your forthcoming LET and we look forward to your future distinction as a licensed professional teacher. Mabuhay!